Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to learn how to decode the secret language of your home's plumbing. You know, your house is always sending these little signals when something's not quite right with the drains. And in this explainer, we are going to figure out how to spot those warnings before they turn into total disasters.
So, let me ask you this right off the bat. Is your home trying to tell you something right now? Think about it. That slow drain in the bathroom, that weird little smell you catch every now and then, those aren't just minor annoyances. Nope. They're messages, and the key is knowing how to listen.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Big, messy drain problems almost never happen overnight. They build up, bit by bit, starting with these small changes you might barely even notice. Catching them early is absolutely your best defense against backups, water damage, and the super expensive repair bills.
Okay, let's dive into the first part, starting with the most obvious stuff, the visual clues. This is what you can actually see happening in your sinks, your tubs, and your showers. It's often the first hint that trouble is brewing.
Now, this is a really critical distinction. If you've got just one slow drain, like say only the bathroom sink is giving you trouble, it probably means you've got a local clog, something right there in that specific pipe. But if you start noticing that multiple fixtures are draining slowly, the sink, the shower, maybe even the toilet is flushing weird, well, that's a much bigger red flag. It usually points to a problem deeper down the system, maybe even in your main sewer line.
So what's causing these slowdowns in the first place? Well, it's usually just a gradual buildup of all the everyday stuff we send down the drain. We're talking grease from cooking, that filmy soap scum from your showers, a whole lot of hair, and other little bits of debris. Over time, all that gunk just sticks to the inside of your pipes and starts to choke off the flow of water.
And this is where you start to connect the dots and see when a simple clog is actually part of a bigger problem. It's all about looking for a pattern, right? Are you fighting with the same clog over and over again? Or maybe you notice water bubbling up in the kitchen sink every time the dishwasher runs? These are crystal clear signs that you're not just dealing with a one-time thing, but a persistent blockage that really needs to be dealt with.
All right, so we've covered what you can see. Let's move on, because your home also communicates through sounds and smells. And honestly, these are the hidden clues that are so easy to ignore, but trust me, they carry some really important information.
Have you ever heard that sound? That gurgle, bubble, coming up from your drain after you run the water or flush the toilet? Yeah, that's not just a random noise. That sound is a classic symptom of a drain in distress.
So, what is actually happening when you hear that? Well, that gurgling is literally the sound of trapped air fighting to get through water that's struggling to pass a blockage. I want you to picture it like a bottleneck on the highway. The water is trying to go down, the air is trying to come up, and they're all fighting for space in a pipe that's way too narrow. If you're hearing that gurgling all the time, that's a definite warning sign.
And what about that nasty smell you just can't seem to get rid of? It's usually from stagnant water and all that decomposing gunk trapped somewhere in the drain line. Sometimes it's simple. The P-trap, that little U-shaped pipe under your sink, might have just dried out. But if you clean the sink and that smell comes right back, that's a huge sign the problem is much deeper inside your pipes.
Okay, now we need to talk about the signs that are way more than just clues. These are full-blown alarms, sirens wailing kind of stuff. When you see or hear any of these, it's time to stop what you're doing and take immediate action.
I really want you to pay close attention here. The signs we're about to cover, they aren't whispers from your home anymore. They're basically screams for help, and ignoring them can lead to some really serious and expensive water damage.
Here they are, the red alerts. Water backing up from one drain into another, like from your toilet into the shower. Any water pooling on the floor near a tub, toilet, or sink, or any sudden, unexpected damp spots or moisture on your walls or floors. These are clear, no doubt about it, signs of a major drainage failure or a leak. The water has nowhere else to go, so it's escaping the system.
All right, so we've identified all the scary problems. Let's take a deep breath and shift to the solution. Because this isn't just about spotting issues, it's about knowing what to do when you find them. So here is your action plan.
So for those milder, more isolated issues, like a single drain that's just a little bit slow, there are a few perfectly safe things you can try first. You can manually pull out any visible hair or gunk from the drain opening, you can start using a drain strainer to catch stuff before it becomes a clog, and you can get in the habit of running hot water down the drain regularly to help dissolve grease and soap scum.
But, and this is maybe the most important part, you have got to know your limits. This is your cheat sheet right here. A simple, one-time slow drain, yeah, a DIY approach might do the trick. But if you're experiencing any of the more serious stuff we've talked about, clogs that keep coming back, problems in multiple fixtures, bad smells that just won't go away, or any of those red alert moisture signs, it is absolutely time to call a licensed plumber. So we'll end with this. Now that you know the language of your drains, you're so much better equipped to protect your home. Those little whispers, a gurgle here, a slow drain there, they're your early warnings. So the question is, the next time your home whispers, are you going to be listening? Thanks for watching.